The markets are crashing again. And so Donald Trump has to create chaos. So he pretend fires Elon Musk from firing hardworking Americans each and every day. Let's put up the post. Here we have Trump to cabinet. Musk has no authority to fire workers. I'm sure this is news to the tens of thousands of Americans that have lost their jobs, their health care benefits, and their pensions.
This is the biggest stunt I've ever seen in my life. My first reaction to this was, and you make a great point about the stock market, but my first reaction was, he shit the bed in the State of the Union saying Elon Musk was in charge. Well, in court filings, he's saying he isn't. So is he trying to do a CYA with the court system to say, oh, no, Elon's not in charge. The cabinet's now going in and doing that. That's what my initial thought was. The stock market and the distraction, that's what I should have thought also, because he is the disruptor in chief.
I think your point is really good, too, because he did say that Elon Musk heads Doge in the State of the Union, which immediately made its way into court filings. They know what he's doing is illegal. They know that they have major problems with this. But now that all of these cabinet members know that Trump has said, hey, Elon's not the boss, you can run your own department. Let's see what an untethered, freed Secretary of State Marco Rubio does now that he knows he doesn't have to report to Musk anymore. Let's see what he says on TV. Play the clip.
Very clear from the beginning that President Trump views this as a protracted, stalemated conflict. And frankly, it's a proxy war between nuclear powers, the United States helping Ukraine and Russia. And it needs to come to an end. And no one has any idea or any plan to bring it to an end. The plan of the Ukrainians up to now and their allies on Capitol Hill and the people you talk to in other countries is, let's just keep giving them as much as they need for as long as it takes. That's not a strategy.
Okay, here we have Marco Rubio on Ash Wednesday with the cross on his forehead, lying through his teeth on national television, spitting out pro-Putin propaganda points. And I need somebody to explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. Why on earth is the United States partnering with an economy that is 1/20th the size of the European Union? Why is the United States creating trade wars and crashing the stock market because of this trade nonsense with Canada and Mexico? Why? Why do they keep doing this? Oh, I forgot. That's because the president of the United States is compromised and is a Russian asset. The president of the United States is a Russian asset, and you have people all across the country acting like this isn't going on. This is insanity.
Marco Rubio, having been served on the Intelligence Committee in the Senate, should know better, but he doesn't because he's more worried about his own power. And he may not have to answer to Elon Musk anymore. But remember that the senior advisor to the State Department is 19-year-old Big Balls.
Right.
So make no mistake, Marco Rubio has absolutely no autonomy. And he is on TV spouting on Fox News Russian propaganda that comes straight from the White House with his fake or well, maybe it's not fake, but anybody that sits up there and lies like that with the Ash Wednesday thing should be heckled and ridiculed just like we're doing now.
So all of these talking points come straight from the Kremlin.
Yes.
Not the White House. This comes straight from the Kremlin. And this is performative that Elon Musk is no longer firing people and in charge of Doge. I think your point, Pumps, is probably more accurate with the court orders. I also think they always have to throw stuff around for the stock market too. But what does the internet think of Marco Rubio? Let's see this. For our listener, some hero that not all heroes wear capes went ahead and made the Ash Wednesday right into a swastika. And that's what's really important for everybody to realize right now. There is a lot of capitulation and a lot of appeasement from some Democrats and definitely from legacy media. They're trying to normalize this stuff. Marco Rubio is taking his orders from a man that intentionally did 2 Sig Heils on the stage on the night of inauguration. But here's what the Kremlin thinks about Marco Rubio. Reuters reports Kremlin says Rubio's view of Ukraine conflict as a U.S.-Russia proxy war matches that of Putin. So everything that you just heard come out of his mouth when he puts on his performative Christian performance was for Vladimir Putin. It was for the Kremlin. It was for Moscow. This is outrageous. This is completely outrageous. And you have, 9 Democrats voting to censure one of their own. This is appeasement. This is a coup. This is completely outrageous. And I am so sick of the cowardice in this country.
I'm so sick of the cowardice. And I just have to tell you, so I'm perusing my New York Times app. And one of the headlines, and I can't remember verbatim, but the gist is Russia deep into into Trump's administration? Are they having influence on the Trump administration? I'm like, where have you been for the last 8 weeks? Like, this is not, is it not? Maybe not. This is Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, is parroting Putin talking points. Trump and Vance totally. I mean, the way they handled Zelensky was absolutely embarrassing. They're abandoning our allies. They're trying to make everybody in America think that it's okay to be aligned with Putin. They're voting with Iran and Belarus. It is unbelievable. And North Korea. And then acting like the mainstream media. Well, I mean, maybe there's a Russian influence. I mean, get over yourself. We're past that.
Okay, next up, let's hear what a moderate politician in France has to say about the United States appeasement to Vladimir Putin.
Jamais dans l'histoire un président des États-Unis n'a capitulé devant l'ennemi.
Never in the history of the United States has a president capitulated to an enemy. Never has one supported an aggressor against an ally. Never has one trampled on the American Constitution, issued as many illegal decrees, revoked the judges who could stop him, sacked the entire military leadership in one go, weakened all of the counterpowers, and taken control of social media.
Center-right politician Claude Malouret delivered a speech during a general session in the French Senate, taking aim at U.S. President Donald Trump and criticizing the United States' changing policy toward Ukraine.
The American shield is slipping away. Ukraine risks being abandoned. Russia is being strengthened. Washington is becoming the court of Nero, an incendiary emperor, submissive courtiers, and a buffoon on ketamine tasked with purging the public administration.
Malouret has served as a member of the Senate since 2014, and his comments reverberated around the world.
This isn't an illiberal drift. It's the beginning of the seizure of democracy. I have faith in the fortitude of American democracy, and the country is already protesting. But in 1 month, Trump has done more damage to America than in 4 years of his previous presidency.
It must be nice to live in the European Union where somebody can make that type of argument, and most of the people that listen to it understand the intellectual implications of it. In the United States, if politicians came out and said something that brilliant, you've got just half the population that isn't smart enough to absorb it. And that's just the fact of the matter. If you played that on Fox News, half the audience wouldn't know who Nero is. They wouldn't know any of the vocabulary that this man uses, even though it's translated into English. But this is the way the world sees us right now. And the person who knows this better than anyone is Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio has been ringing the alarm bells his entire Senate career about the dangers of Vladimir Putin, that Vladimir Putin cannot be trusted. And here's what America needs to realize right now. Putin will dick over Trump. Right. The fix is in for Putin. He has played the long war, cyber warfare, psychological war on the United States of America. You've got people word vomiting, fighting in the comment sections to Americans over Russia right now. Millions of people fighting about Russia. Some people are pro-Russian, and I met one here in Oklahoma City, and I about fell over. She described herself as a moderate and spit out pro Putin propaganda points that she learned from Tucker Carlson. This is a house is on fire 911, and to all of the Democrats that voted with the Republicans for that congressman in Texas to be censured, that is a disgrace. That is an appeasement. This is exactly what happened in World War II. Quit trying to normalize this shit. You don't get to campaign for 2 years saying they're fascists, he's going to be a dictator, they're going to give the country to Putin. And then when you sit down and react to it, and this man is standing up for the poorest citizens in the United States to have health care, you censure him? Fuck you guys. You're cowards, and the Democrats will continue to lose if you keep doing this shit. We're in middle America, and middle Americans hate this type of cowardice. So pull yourselves together. And this is the thing, Democrats, you should welcome criticism. You should welcome it. Republicans don't. They don't welcome criticism, but this is democracy. Democracy is when voices like ours criticize those that hold power, and we have to fight like hell to keep our democracy. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys later.